Part of what he is struggling with, he struggles with a marriage.
With commitment? Okay.
With a marriage.
Okay.
Is it sacred?
Mm-hmm.
Do you honor? He struggles with that. And all of those emotions and twisted feelings, he took that to the altar. And a lot of that stems from things that you have to explain and then apologize. Don't make excuses, just apologize so that closure can be had.
I don't know who did not cry during that episode. That was from Love is Blind, and addresses how coming from a broken family can deeply impact someone and how they view the world.
Dr. Katie Stewart joins us now, and let's hop right in. So Clay is who they're talking about, their son. And at the altar, he has a hard time saying yes and committing to the relationship because that is what he grew up with, his dad cheating on his mom. What do you make of that whole situation?
So this is so fascinating to me because one of the age-old questions in psychology is it nature? Is it nurture?
Right,
and here is a man saying, hey, look at me, I've got both. Because I am, obviously a direct descendant of my father. I have his genes, and he took me with him to cheat on my mother. So he's got both sides of it. And first of all, shout out to his mother.
Oh my God, what a classy
the star
lady
of the whole show, and
really
seemed to understand what was happening. And I think it's a little too easy to say that Clay is doomed.
Right.
And that he can't change this.
Well, and it seemed odd for those of you who haven't watched Love is Blind, the latest series, the latest season of it. He throughout the season talked over and over again about how he was worried that he would fall into the same path of his dad. It seems so strange to me to think like, oh, I'm doomed to cheat on whoever I'm with.
Yes.
That's completely within your control.
That's exactly right.
It seems so strange to me.
And it was always triggered by a very happy moment. Like they would look stronger than ever, and then he would say, I am so sorry, I don't want to cheat on you, when he didn't.
Well, it makes you wonder a bunch of things, right? First of all, how much did he really want to be in that specific relationship? But I got to tell you, when I think about these things, I always check, is there any little bit of research supporting anything here? And there is a tiny bit of research looking at a specific gene, a dopamine receptor. That's the kind of thrill-seeking gene. That shows a little bit of more of a predisposition to cheating, and people who have that temptation. Exactly. However, you nailed it, Heather. This is a willful behavior. We always have a choice, and also a predisposition to something never means it's absolutely going to happen. Another thing is, my understanding is, Clay himself never admitted to cheating on anybody.
Right.
And one of the best predictors, maybe the best predictor of future behavior is past and present behavior. So, I mean,
I do think, though, watching this, it made me realize that what happens when you are a kid, in fact, 100% stays with you into adulthood. It is how you process that information and how you grow from it, but it does, like the things that you are doing now as a parent with your children in the room and how you're raising them impacts them.
And I think, we don't know that often even as adults, and plug for therapy, I'm obviously biased towards that, but sometimes it's not till we're talking about things to an objective observer where we realize this, because so much of this is learned implicitly, right? We see it, we see how mom handled this, how dad handled that, and we internalize it in a way that we don't realize that it doesn't have to be this way. Like, I think there was a point where Clay said, I am not a husband, and I thought, okay.
That's heartbreaking, because you could be.
Right, but if that is your belief, you're probably not going to be one, because you're so focused on this idea. And honestly, I think one of the biggest things that all of us do to ourselves is just kind of torture ourselves with these beliefs about who we are, how we are, how the world is treating us.
Absolutely. And my parents are still married, but I have a lot of friends whose parents aren't. And I remember when we were all going through the phase of all getting engaged and married, and everyone talking about, well, my parents are divorced, so that's not an option for me. It's amazing how people are trying to rewrite their childhoods and kind of fix that maybe trauma that they didn't know they had. But what would you say to someone right now who maybe is in a relationship, who is from a divorced parents, broken family, and needs that hope to know that that doesn't have to be their future?
Oh my gosh. First of all, everything is in your control. These are all behavioral things. And I think the first thing to do is examine these beliefs. You know, these things that you are taking as truth, as if they're a law, like gravity, and check it out. It's probably not true.
Well, and what I think is really interesting, and something that I learned myself in going through therapy, is there are triggers that happen in our lives that kind of bring up that idea. So him thinking about getting married makes him then question the marriage of his own parents.
That's right.
Same thing, like if you have things that are triggering from your childhood and you start to have kids, it's going to be that trigger.
Floods back.
Right. Yeah. So you have to work through that.
You do. And I think a great thing to do is, you know, as I say these things, what am I feeling? And can I remember the first time I had that feeling?
Right.
You know, it's probably somewhere in childhood.
Probably.
And
Oh
we
my
can work from that, and then you know it's not yours.
Right. It's your parents. Got
I
it.
feel like I just got out of therapy. I love it. If you're interested in setting up an appointment with Dr. Katie Stewart, we'll have a link on our website, katiekade.com/talkpittsburgh.